So guys, I think I did it. I think I quite literally found the best cashback credit card and setup in the entire world. And no, it's not a typical get a Bank of America rewards card, have 100K in assets, and then they give you 5.25% on everything. No, it's not that. It's not even a bunch of Citi custom cash cards getting 5% back on a million different categories. Even that is not as good as the setup that I just found, or even the video I did recently on the best cashback setup for all of your high-tiered, high annual fee American Express credit cards. No, this setup is even way better than that. So no expensive annual fees, no need to get a million different cards. This setup is free, only requires one, maybe two cards if you're feeling crazy. And one of the cards technically is a debit card, but we'll talk about it. So without further ado, let's introduce the credit card that I'm talking about in this video today, which is the Yotta credit card. And you guys know that if you've been following the channel for a little bit now, this is basically my whole personality now. And for a good reason, because I have been diligently using and tracking this said credit card for the last 30 days straight with no other cards used in that same 30-day period. And I gotta be honest, I just went over the numbers 2 days ago and I was honestly shocked at the amount of value I got back from this said credit card. So let's get into it. So for a few of you that watch the channel, you guys already know my endless spiels talking about the Yotta credit card, but for the few of you who still do not know what this credit card actually is and what it does, let me just do a quick 2-second synopsis and then we'll get into the numbers. So basically, bare bones, the only way you're eligible to get a Yotta card is if you have an account with Yotta Bank. And joining the bank is as easy as just signing up for an account and making a quick deposit of like $1 if you want to. And once you've opened up the bank account, then you can actually truly access all of the power that Yotta has to offer. So every time you deposit $25, you're going to be getting back one ticket in the daily lottery that will last. And as long as you keep that 25 in there, you're going to have one ticket towards the daily lottery for forever. And of course, it could be $50, $100, $10,000, so on and so forth. And you're going to get a certain amount of tickets back for all the money you keep in the account. The other bank also has incentives towards saving goals. So if you just put a certain amount of money every single month, you're getting boosted on those tickets. So you'll get more and more tickets towards the daily lottery, right? Now, once you have all this and you have access to all this, now you are eligible to get the Yotta card. And as of right now, it is technically a debit card. You can see right here, in the past, it was branded as something else. And then when I got the credit card, it was a Yotta credit card. And now it's just a Yotta debit card. So, and it's a soft pull. It may not affect your 524 because it's a debit card, but I wouldn't trust it because Yotta sometimes changes it from a credit card to a debit card. It does affect 524. Just assume it's going to affect your 524 status. And this credit card has this full benefit list right here, but the most important one, the one that I want to isolate, which is the one that I've been testing over the last 30 days, is the ability to get the item that you just purchased on that credit card completely for free. And in the past, they've always kind of marketed it as like a 1% chance of getting the item completely for free. So after having this card for a year and a half and kind of using it just on and off a little bit here and there, I said to myself, what would happen if I used this credit card exclusively, nothing else, for all of my spend for 30 days straight? And well, let's go into the results. So the Yotta card acts exactly like a debit card. So essentially, all of your credit limit is tied to the amount of money you have in the bank. So if you're going to be spending on this card, just know that you have to have the money in the account ready to go for when you purchase all of these items. Basically, just treat it like a normal debit card. And honestly, like I said earlier, I was super shocked by the numbers. All right, sorry, let me get into it. And also, when you're swiping this card, you're not only going to be getting a chance of getting the item for free, but usually going to be getting a combination of either cashback or some tickets in, again, the daily lottery. So technically, you have a few ways to win, right? Okay, if you don't get it for free, whatever, no harm, no foul. Maybe you get a few percent back and a few cents here and there. And or you're getting tickets in the daily lottery that could also win between $0 and $1 million every single day. So to talk about all of the money that I've earned from using this credit card in the last 30 days, I'm going to section off lottery winnings, so all the tickets I got in the daily lottery and all the money I got in the daily lottery, and then all of the winnings from actually using said credit card and the cashback I get from each purchase, and or if I got anything for free. Spoiler alert, I got something for free. So actually I lied, it's a little more than 30 days. It ended up being about 33, 34 days. So I used it from September 1st all the way to October 4th is when I did the last tally on everything I earned from this card. So the amount of total earnings I earned from just lottery tickets alone in the daily lottery, I got $34.80 in the last 30 some odd days. Which is like, $1 a day so far. Not too bad, all right? I could buy a... could buy, a fourth of a McChicken at McDonald's. Cool. Unless you use those McDonald's promotions, you can get some good deals. And then from using the Yotta card itself, all the cashback, and in conjunction with the items I got completely for free, the total was $85.24, which is pretty wild. And then also here, you could see my entire winnings list. So you could see all the things that I purchased that are completely for free. You can see the $77 purchase right here that is now actually posted to my account just a month later, and all of the winnings that I got on the lottery system. And you can see just a few days ago, I was able to get $20 in winnings from just the daily lottery alone, which is crazy. I mean, $20 is paying for a lot of stuff, an insane amount of stuff. So the total right then and there, just from using the lottery system and the card itself, the total is $120.04 worth of cash back just from using this card over the last 30 days. Now, that doesn't tell the whole story. You might say that's pretty good, but you have to actually know how much I spent to get that amount on this card. So let's get into it. Between the dates of September 1st and October 4th, we spent in conjunction a total of $1,677.77. So a good amount of money, but we paid for a full wedding, the Vegas trip, and a few other things, of course. Household things. We're in the middle of a move right now. You can see right now in the box at the back. We paid for a lot of different things in this last month. So I'm not going to be crazy and try to sell you guys on this. The numbers speak for themselves. From just factoring in just using this credit card exclusively alone for the last 30 plus days, $1,677.77 divided by $120.04 worth of cash back equals a total return of 7.15% return on all of that spend, which aka that's 7.15% cash back on all of the spend in the last month, which I think already speaks volumes, but I didn't want to spoil it, but there's way more value, folks. So way more value than you can even imagine. 7% is just, it's nothing. It's nothing compared to what I'm about to show you. So one thing that I kind of kept to myself in this video so far is that what I didn't let you know is that I've actually been using the Yotta credit card exclusively for the last 30 days. That's correct. But I've been using it through my Curve credit card. That's right, you guys have seen me and CalBNG talk about this credit card ad nauseum for the last few months. Essentially, you're allowed to preload all of your other credit cards that are Discover and MasterCard onto this credit card, which you guys already know. You're allowed to use this credit card to move purchases over from one to another. So if I want to use the Yotta card, switch it over to a different card, we can, but we'll get into it. All right, don't get ahead of yourself. This credit card earns 1% cash back on top of everything that you earn from the credit card that you're using through it. And that's going to be 1% cash back for the first 6 months that you keep this card open, unless you get referrals, unless you have a couple friends and family that you also sign up for this credit card. Every person that you sign up for said credit card, you get another 30 days of additional 1% cash back. And I'm still within that 6 months, so I am still getting 1% back on everything. So for the same period, I put all of my spend on the Curve credit card to also charge the Yotta credit card. So that means I also got 1% cash back on the same $1,677.77, yielding me another $16.77 worth of cash back, which is now using this bifecta, which I call the Godzilla bifecta. I know, John, you don't like the name. I get it. It's fine. All right. I think it's growing into the name. But now the total using the Godzilla bifecta, these two credit cards, is a total of $136.81 worth of full cash back, which now is boosting up our total cash back percentage up to 8.15% on all purchases. Now, that is one amazing thing. And another thing that's also amazing that adds to the value of this setup, and I don't mean scanning these two QR codes if you want the Curve card, Yotta card, appreciate if you do, but not only that, but you have to remember that I got 8.15% personally cash back on all of these purchases, and it was all different categories. Remember, moving, that's Amazon, that's, wedding at the chapel, which I don't even know what category that is. That's business services for stuff in my business. It's everything. It's literally everything. Dining out, everything you can think of in life, I got a total of 8.15% cash back on everything, which you can't really say the same for any other cashback setup out there in the world. Of course, you can have a plethora of, 5% earning cashback city custom cashes, other different credit cards that earn cashback, but they have direct categories. Maybe you put it for dining, maybe this business card, a million different categories, but this is encompassing all categories no matter what. And that's true, but also one other point that a lot of people don't necessarily consider is that when we're applying for all these credit cards, of course, these are credit cards, we're going to have debt. But one good thing about Yotta card and why I think this is actually a really good setup and why I actually recommend it for most beginners, not only are you getting all these returns, getting these awesome bonuses, et cetera, incentivizing saving, you have no ability to get into credit card debt with debilitating 30% interest rates. So I think it's a good point to consider, and I just thought of it as I was editing this video. So back to the video. Now, of course, another quick caveat is that the Yotta card is based on chance. Was I really lucky to get the $77 meal completely for free? Yes, But I also think that since I've been using it every single day, which I think a lot of people don't, that of course my likelihood of actually getting something for free is way, way higher, and I think can be replicated, and that's why I'm going to continue using this credit card for the foreseeable future. But again, your mileage may vary. Maybe you don't get something for free for years, and your cash back is, subpar, just like 2% back on everything, which is not too bad, but there's a lot of cards that are better than that, right? Yes, totally agree. There are plenty of cards out there that are a little bit better than that. However, as we're in the office now, I have to actually let you know one other thing that I'm doing with this setup that you guys were unaware of. We good? Okay. Welcome to the office. So basically, one other thing with this method that I did not mention to you guys that actually adds more value on top of the value I already mentioned is the fact that the curve card, like I mentioned earlier, you're actually able to take those transactions, move them over to a different card, right? So what I've been doing is, if it's on the Yotta card, if I don't get it for free, etc., who cares? I can now move it from the Yotta card, and what we've been doing is moving it over to her, my wife's, Chase Freedom Flex. Now, all of those purchases, that same $1,677, has now been earning Chase Ultimate Reward points as well for the items that I don't get for free. So I would say that also means we're going to be getting another about 1,600 Chase Ultimate Reward points on top of all the other cash back we got from the Yotta card and the Curve card. And when you do curve it over to the Flex, the Yotta card still retains that cash back and the tickets towards the daily lottery, so at least you retain that. But then that also means we're getting 1,600 Chase Ultimate Reward points, and if you just take the most conservative valuation and just say maybe it's 1 cent per point, that's now adding an additional $16 worth of cash back, which is enough to bring like an extra percent to our total, maybe like 9% cash back on all purchases. But if we're talking about my real life examples and my real life value from this setup, I also like Hyatt Hotels. And you guys know it's a transfer partner from Chase Ultimate Reward Points, transferred over to Hyatt. And usually my cent per point valuations in the last 4 or 5 Hyatts that I've stayed in is about 2.5 cents per point. So if we do ascribe my real life value of it, my non-conservative value of it, it's going to be about another $40 in additional value that I'm getting from hotel spend from that alone, which would bring our total cash back all the way up from $136 all the way up to $176.81 after spending $1,677 in a given month. And for those curious about the percent return on the cashback, that's now bumping up our cashback to an astounding, insane 10.53% cashback on all purchases, regardless of the category. And if you just take the conservative approach and maybe evaluate those points way, way less, then again, it's still a minimum of about a 9% return on all purchases, maybe a little more, which is still just like you can't, which is still just like absolutely crazy. Now, I get it. A lot of this is based on luck. My numbers could be greatly skewed if I didn't get that $77 dinner completely for free. So I get it. It's chance, it's luck, but it also is my real life experience. And I have used this credit card over the last 30 days. This is the legit cashback I got from this exact setup. Now, next month it could be, who knows, 3%. Maybe next month it's 15%. It could be anything. It could vary wildly, but it's fun, and that's why I'm going to continue doing it. So I want to keep doing updates maybe every 30 days, maybe every 60 days of just how much I potentially earn from the setup. I'm going to continue using this credit card setup for the foreseeable future until, who knows, maybe Curve just, gets rid of the whole ability to move those transactions over, which is a valid point, and we just saw this happen with the Built controversy recently. But if that does happen, just know, remember the original math. On just the Yotta card alone, my real spend, my real return, on just the Yotta card alone was still a 7.15% return on all of that spend. So I think it's very replicatable, it's very doable, and I'm just going to be the test dummy to continue doing this over and over and to see if I actually can maintain that amount of cash back from all of my earnings. So, and of course, before you go, remember, if you want to try this setup for yourself and you want to be, a trailblazer and just be crazy and rely on chance, then be sure again to scan these QR codes, and just know that if you do scan the QR code for Yotta Bank, by using my referral link, I'm going to be getting a bonus, but you too are also going to be getting a bonus just for using my said referral link, mutually beneficial. I appreciate it, of course, and I just think it's overall fun. So, but in the meantime, let's just talk about exactly why out of my 15 credit card collection, I'm going to be using just 2 credit cards. And really now it's down to like, 1 and then 2 credit cards, right? So who knows? Let's see what happens. But I'll see you there. And of course, thank you guys for watching.